Welcome to Driven to Draw. My name is Arvind, and we're going to start off drawing another car. Lo and behold, ooh, imagine that. Since just about 80% of the site is really focused on cars, I promise to switch it up a little bit. It's just that cars are usually one of the most difficult things that you can draw. And me being in the automotive industry, it's a natural way for me to sort of progress and teach that area of my expertise. But I'm going to be moving on to more transportation related paintings and cars and maybe some motorcycles and planes, and anything related to transportation is what I'm thinking of covering, and to maybe really look at some of the artistic side of things, because art is my passion. I really do enjoy drawing, just because drawing is a great way to relax and to build some confidence, believe it or not. So if you are an engineer, or if you are currently someone that is working in the professional world and have a job, and you're looking to expand your horizons and learn something new and just enjoy the very art of creation, Driven to Draw is the place to be. So anyway, moving on as we start to work on this sketch. This one's going to be a Mini Cooper, or a Mini Cooper-esque. What I'm doing is I've already established where my wheels were going to be. So all I've done really is just to create a, if I just draw a line that goes straight across, this is kind of like a parallel 3/4 view. It'll give me a cylinder if I did that. Now if I really wanted to be completely correct, the cylinder on the opposite side, you have the cylinder on the foreground here, next to the headlamp, and then on the other side it should be a little bit open, but we're just going to keep drawing here. A lot of people ask me what software I'm using. The software I'm using is Painter. I'm going to open that ellipse there because it was bugging me, but I'm using Painter 12, and I'm using a tablet PC. It's a Fujitsu. I believe it's a 2010 or 2050 or 2010 T2050. I can't remember. I'd have to go back and look at the model number, but something like that. But you can pick them up on eBay. They're not terribly expensive. But these lessons that I'm showing you are not really meant for you to go out and buy a tablet. To be honest, anything that you see on this site is really meant for you to take and start to sketch by hand. The tools like these tablets and things like that, they're not going to make you a better artist. They're not going to make you better at sketching. They just add a little bit of convenience for myself to be able to record and bring in really cool looking drawings for you. But the intent is for me to kind of give it a nice mix of both analog and digital formats, so that you get a taste, so you kind of understand when I'm drawing by hand, all the digital formats and the digital drawings that you see is a direct result of really understanding how to draw in the first place. So I would always recommend starting from there. Alright, so I'm just drawing the fog lamp here. This is all in real time. The first 6 minutes, we've just gone through about 4 minutes right now, and the first 6 minutes of this video is all real time, so you kind of get an idea of how fast I really sketch. I think things out. I do work on speed. Occasionally I go in and just try to, with muscle memory, just start to sketch something out very quickly. But when I'm doing something, if I'm looking or I'm trying to study a particular design, I have to really look at the details, understand what the details are doing, how they transition, what are the surfaces that are doing, what are the surfaces doing, how are they transitioning, and I'm really trying to study the form language that's going on. That's, you understand that form. Once you have your basics down, you got to understand the form language, and it's a good basis for design, to really understand what's really working for something, what's not, and start paying attention to some of the details. What are those details doing? What do they mean? Is there consistency in the design language? What does that consistency mean? And it's a good way to kind of exercise your brain and your mind to think analytically. You don't want to just draw or design for the sake of designing, because you're not really an artist when you're designing. You're really trying to solve a problem. It may be a visual problem, it might be an actual functional problem that you're trying to solve, but that's the basis of design. And even when you're going through some of these exercises, the intent is really for you to just relax and just learn the joy of sketching something and putting something down on paper, ideating, that sort of thing. All right, we've got to the 6 minutes. We're blowing past this thing. I love it. It's 300%. So all the boring stuff of just watching me sketch very quickly is now over. We're gonna speed this sucker up. So I've got the belt line established, and then I'm just drawing in the section of what the form is really doing in that particular area. I'm just going to cross hatch the ground. Even when I'm sketching, by the way, on a tablet, I try to extend out. You don't, on a large piece of paper, you get the ability to sketch or use your entire arm to exercise that, but on a tablet it's a little bit smaller, but I still try to extend my hands when I'm drawing. Stay loose and pay attention to the varying line weights. Alright, now I've got the whole silhouette done. I'm going to start looking at some details and just look at getting some shading done, some cross-hatching, that sort of thing. But now that I'm sort of happy with everything that I'm seeing here, I'm just going to start adding more details. We're going to start putting in the side view mirrors. We'll drop those suckers in. Put them on the other side. I'm just going to draw a quick area where the reflection line is going to be, and then there's also a transitional surface right in the lower part of the car. I'm just going to start adding some areas where the reflections are going to be, fleshing out also the wheels, as you can see there too. Now just cross-hatching that area. Let's do this front here. Okay, so now we got some of those things defined. I've got the center line. I'll cross hatch this area again. Not quite sure why I erased the other one, but alright, I got my ellipses in. By the way, another technique, I'm going to start some of these newer videos that you're going to see when we get into fundamentals. We're really going to focus on certain shapes, particular shapes that you need to practice in order to be much more proficient in drawing, and then how we connect some of those shapes to reality, to a tangible object, to an object that you recognize. Okay, now I'm just shading in the wheels. I'm just going to add a little bit more value, darken it up so it brings a little bit more attention to it. I'm going to add the tire tread. I'll widen the wheel a little bit, the stance. Now we're cruising along here. Alright. I'm going to shade this portion. Now we're going to add a little bit more value, bring a little bit more attention here, and just start to push back some of these surfaces. It's a little bit too dark from what I can see, but we'll just keep going. So there's a curvature right there. Now I'm going to start hitting some of these areas just to bring more attention to it. I got the headlamp. I'm just adding some sections here to describe the form. Start adding more reflection areas. Here's where you're getting the environment that reflects off of the windshield, the window area. And now I'm just going to darken the windshield around. There we go. It's coming along. Now I'm going to darken the upper part of the wheel well. Right, because you're always going to have a little bit of a gap between the tire and the upper wheel and the wheel arch. So you can't have them completely flush. And I've actually got still not enough gap through here, but it always looks cooler this way, right? Makes these cars look sexy when you can line the tire all the way up to the wall, to the wheel well. So it's something that you see a lot in conceptual cars. Conceptual cars are not meant to look like production. Why? Because it's boring. Who wants to see something that looks like production? We want to see something that's sexy, man. We want to see something that really excites people. So when it comes out into production, most of the time they don't look that way. Then you get this big disappointment, like that Subaru, like that WRX. Car still kicks butt though. I'll still take a performance a car over something that looks really sweet. The Subarus are just terrific. I wish it looked a little bit better, and really I can't understand why they can't seem to do that, but maybe they've got a shape that's engineered to precision and something that can be changed. Anyway, this is wrapping it up. So I hope you enjoyed this episode, and we'll see you here next time on driventodraw.com. Have a good one.